will come into effect in May next year if adopted. Secretary for Labour and Welfare Matthew Cheung today declined to offer details, but he stressed that the Commission had analysed a wide range of data before making its decision. Cheung added that views from the labour and business sectors, as well as other stakeholders, have also been taken into account. Leung Chao-ting, one of the employee representatives in the Labour Advisory Board, wants a bigger increase. He favours a minimum wage of $35 an hour, which would lead to a basic monthly income of about $7,200. Leung believes that at a level of $32.50, which would mean a monthly income of $6,700, won't be enough for grassroots residents. A few $100s makes quite a difference for low-income workers, he said. In contrast, representatives of the business sector criticised the proposed increase as too high. Legislator Jeffrey Lam says that would put more pressure on small and medium-sized enterprises, eroding what's already a small profit margin for them. And coupled with the ongoing Occupy protests, he warns that businesses could be feeling the pinch, especially in the short term. Owen Fung, TVB News.
The Center for Health Protection has confirmed the first local case of dengue fever this year. The patient is a 63-year-old construction worker from Sha Tin who worked at the Sa Ying Pun and the Eastern Hospital.
We'd like to appeal to persons who have been to Pok Hong SA in Sha Tin, the Sa Ying Pun MTR station construction site or the Eastern Hospitals, and those with dengue fever symptoms should seek medical attention promptly.
The patient was admitted to the Prince of Wales Hospital on October 16th and was diagnosed with dengue fever today. He is in stable condition. This is the first dengue fever case in Hong Kong since 2010. The Center for Health Protection has urged the public to take precautions against mosquito-borne diseases. The Interdepartmental Coordinating Committee on Mosquito-Borne Diseases will convene a meeting next week to enforce mosquito prevention and control measures.
At least one man was injured in a collision between two cars outside TVB City in Jaguano this morning. Both vehicles were on fire after the crash, and two people from one of the cars reportedly fled the scene. The crash happened at around 7 a.m. on Chun Choi Street, leaving one of the cars halfway up the fence on the pavement. Firefighters had to cut open the wreckage to rescue the driver trapped inside. The other car was severely damaged, burned down to its metal frame. Police said passers-by saw two people get out of that car and leave the scene after the accident. Police investigation into the case is underway. A Dallas nurse who caught Ebola while caring for a Liberian patient walked out of a Washington area hospital virus-free after receiving treatment there. As Alan Buckner reports, she even got a hug from the president.
It was big smiles all around as nurse Nina Pham emerged from the National Institutes of Health Hospital in Bethesda, Maryland, flanked by her family.
I do not know how I can ever thank you, everyone, enough for their prayers and their expressions of concern, hope, and love.
Then it was off to Washington for a special meeting in the Oval Office, where she got a big hug from U.S. President Barack Obama. Pham's colleague, Amber Vinson, who also caught the disease, is reported to no longer have symptoms of Ebola. But alarm continues in New York, where a doctor who treated Ebola patients in West Africa came down with the disease Thursday. On Friday, cleanup crews swept through the home of Dr. Craig Spencer, who's reported to be in stable condition. Alarmed by the case, the governors of New York and New Jersey ordered a mandatory 21-day quarantine of all medical workers and other arriving airline passengers who had contact with victims of the virus. A neighbor who had lunch at a restaurant that Spencer frequented says he wishes that the quarantine order had come earlier.
It would have been nice to hear that he was here. I wasn't sure of that, but I definitely would, ask for fair warning next time.
New York's mayor urged people not to panic.
There is no cause for everyday New Yorkers to be alarmed. Ebola is an extremely hard disease to contract. It's transmitted only through direct contact with the blood or other bodily fluids of another individual.
The Obama administration is consulting with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention in Atlanta. A spokesman for the CDC said a quarantine of medical workers, similar to the ones just imposed in New York and New Jersey, is an option being discussed. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization said Friday that millions of doses of 2 experimental Ebola vaccines could be ready for use sometime next year. That's provided early tests on volunteers prove to be safe and effective. The agency warned it's still not clear whether the vaccines will work against the deadly virus in West Africa that's killed almost 5,000 people. Alan, TVB News.
The parents of Asher King, a 5-year-old British boy with a brain tumor, said on Friday that his son has responded well to experimental treatment in the Czech Republic. The clinic in Prague say Asher has completed his proton beam therapy treatment and is getting better. Asher's case caused an international uproar after his parents fought a protracted battle to get their young son treated with the proton beam technology. The therapy targets tumors more directly than radiotherapy, but is not yet available for patients with brain tumors in Britain. Prague doctors say patients like Asher have a 70 to 80% chance of being cured. All right, over to you for sports.
Well, thank you very much. And we begin with the World Series. The Kansas City Royals have taken the lead in the World Series. Timely hitting and strong pitching gave the Royals victory over the San Francisco Giants in Game 3 of the best-of-7 showdown.